Hey guys, welcome back to episode 2, part 2 of the Mahoneys podcast. First, I just want to say thank you so much for coming back. We love you guys and we're so grateful for you guys. And second, I want to say if you hear some interference, I apologize. During these episodes, we are dealing with the technical difficulties. Anyways, with that, hope you enjoy the rest of this episode. Mahoneys, Mahoneys, Mahoneys.
All right, so the event ends, and I know that I like her. I know that I want to pursue her and see where it goes.
I was living in Utah. He was living in Denver.
Yeah. So I'm this 2022. I'm in Denver. She's in Utah. I think it was actually, when she was flying back home, or I flew back home because we both flew back home.
Well, I remember, you mean the text message?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember being at the airport and I got a text message from you. I'm like, why are you texting me like the event is over? And so I saw it and you're just like, hey, have a safe trip home. It's like, thank you.
Yeah, I was thinking about her so much that I was just like, wanted to send a text message after her, and I was like, I need to break in my mind, the coaching dynamic still. I'm just be like, hey, it's good to see you. I hope you have a safe flight home.
Yeah.
Right. And then when I get back to Denver, like it was a strong feelings that were coming over me like, hey, you should text her again. So we started texting a little bit. And then at that point, I think it was like a week or two after the event, I invited her to come to Denver. I was going to pay for her
did
flight.
This multiple times.
I was going to pay for her flight because I knew she was financially not in the best position at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, hey, come to Denver. I want to take you to a Red Rocks concert. She loves music. We both love music. And let's go to the Red Rocks concert. And I invite her out. And she just says no.
I was talking to one of my coworkers and they're like, are you insane? Like, go. And I'm like, I said no for a couple of reasons. And you asked me out to do that a bunch of times. But I said no because I was like, one, I knew that you were living a bachelor life. And I was like, I have to test you a bit because obviously,
It's fair.
Yeah,
It's fair.
It was a big test, really. Two, I didn't trust any men. I did not trust anybody to do what they said that they were doing because up until that point, besides my father, no one did what they said they were going to do. And like the guys that I dated, they were just like, so not all of them, but yeah. My point is then I was like, I'm going to go on a flight that he pays for. I'm going to go fly and stay at his high-rise bachelor pad.
I had a penthouse in Denver. It was sweet.
I can't do that. I have to think about my friend.
Sounds awful.
But I was also thinking like, I don't believe him. I don't believe he's going to follow through on that. One. And two, what the heck am I going to tell my friend?
I guess that's fair. What are you going to tell your friend, right?
Now, you were more worried about my ex, I think. Like, when we talked about it, you're like, I know, how do I explain this? When I was showing concerns, you were saying, I get it because of your ex. And I was like, well, actually, no, it's not because of him. It's because of my friend.
Okay, so she was more concerned that I had never viewed my relationship with
and you had a reputation
with her friend as a true committed relationship because we never lived in the same state. We never called ourselves boyfriend or girlfriend. There was a dating aspect.
But I also heard other things from other people. So you had like, in my mind, a reputation of like...
You heard from like two people, okay? This is the thing. With distortion and generalization, and I will teach you guys about that with mindset later. Oh, I heard things from two people, so now I have a complete framework story of people.
Let's keep going. We're dragging on.
All right. No, you don't want to be called out on your BS. That's what's happening.
Let's go.
Okay. So she doesn't come to Denver, and around this time, actually, a month later, I'm getting ready to move to Arizona in 2022.
I also had already decided to move to Arizona as well.
Yeah, and we had been talking about that, and I didn't think she was serious about moving to Arizona. She had said, but I didn't know. But I was serious.
I knew I needed to get out of Utah because if I didn't, I would continuously be in this, regardless of if I was with my ex or not, I would continuously be in that horrible loop and environment that I just like couldn't get out of. I needed to leave.
Yeah. So it's like September, October. Yeah, end of September 2022. My lease ends, and I'm driving to Arizona. And right before I went to Arizona, I was like, I texted her. I was like, hey, I want to stop and see you in Utah. I'm gonna
I was like,
drive,
yeah, sure.
which is, by the way, if you ever driven from Denver to Arizona, you don't go to Utah first. You
It's a
don't go.
detour, a
Yeah,
long
it's
detour.
an 11-hour detour in the opposite
And
direction.
that's why I was like, come on, like, okay, this is the ultimate test because I know you're not going to do that. Who
Yeah,
would do that? We're not even dating.
I mean it's a beautiful drive,
Yeah.
but it's 11 hours out of the
Wait, we
way.
actually did go on a date before that. Remember in when you came for a business thing?
Was that before?
Yeah.
Okay, so we missed our first date. Sorry.
Sorry.
First date was in Utah when
So,
another event that I went to with William, an upgrade event for real estate, and we asked her to come out to just kind of not be an assistant because we weren't training that day, but she was going to help me in terms of the representation of upgrade, and so we did go out on a date. I guess before
well,
that.
but before that, before you came, you're like, hey, I'm coming to Utah. I'm coming to Utah to do this thing. Would you like to join? I'm like, yeah, sure. And you're like, well, do you want to go on a date? I'm like, what is your intention? That's what I asked. Because at
Oh
that
yeah,
point,
I did
you,
skip a pretty important part. My
yeah,
bad.
at that point, I was like, you keep asking for me to come see you. And I don't want to be this toy. I'm done with being a freaking toy. And so I asked him bluntly at that point. I think I was doing this with a lot of people. I was just asking, like, what is your intention here? Because I'm not playing. Like, I don't want to play anymore. And he was very quick in that response. And do you remember what you said?
Not precisely. What do you say?
You said there was no sugarcoating, right? You said, I want to date you, period. And I'm coming to Utah to go on a date with you.
I'm a man of action.
Something more. And then after that was like, I, I've enjoyed our talks, whatever. But it's like that, those first two lines, I want to date you. I want to go on a date with you. That was it.
Yeah.
And so because of that, I was like, fine, you'll be in town, whatever.
Fine.
Just kidding. At that point, we were talking, and I had developed a little bit of feelings, but again, I wasn't allowing myself to consciously like feel anything because I didn't know the drama that would come with this, you know.
Yeah, but no drama really came from it. So yeah, that was our first date, and nah, we had like 2 dates actually that time in Utah.
Yeah, because you were staying there, like you were staying there. It wasn't very long. It was
We
just
had a
a
fun time
couple
at
days.
the hotel too. We were like laying underneath the stars in the grass of the hotel. Then the sprinklers came on.
I think somebody put those sprinklers
Yeah,
on.
we think someone at the hotel wanted us off the lawn and took the sprinklers on. So that was
Yeah,
funny.
but it was fun. It was like a teenage
Yeah,
moment.
it was a dating early moment,
Yeah,
which was awesome, right?
yeah,
I miss those days sometimes. I love
yeah.
where we're at in our life right now because we have our son and we're growing our family. There are some days where I miss just dating her, and we got to get better at that. We will get better at that. But it's like that's the beginning stages of dating.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was a cool time. So let's move
Anyways,
forward a little
regardless,
bit 'cause her story.
it's dragging on. Yeah. So you did end up coming to Utah. It was during Halloween. And
When I drove out to Utah
yeah. And
with a U-Haul, I drove out and I got an Airbnb in Utah, which was like 20 minutes away from her, and I drove out with a U-Haul, and then I had my cow meat delivered to me.
oh yeah.
So I buy like a half a cow at a time, and my rancher was in Utah. I have him drop off all the cow meat, and Brielle, the first time, she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm picking up my meat too. I figured if I'm going to see you, I might as well grab my meat here while I'm here." And she's like, "Okay."
Yeah. So we had gone on a date, cool, like then you left. Then you took an 11-hour detour, and that's when I was really thinking like, "Oh, well you're more serious than I thought you were. Like you're actually doing what you say." So like that really caught my eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So after my detour to Utah, I moved to Arizona, and we continued to
Long
talk long
distance.
distance. Right? She
Well,
flies
it
out.
wasn't official yet, I guess, still.
Yeah, you fly out. I think like maybe mid October to see me.
Yeah.
Yeah, we go and she hangs out. She stays at my house. We have a good time, right? And definitely during that weekend, there was a very, very powerful moment between us two, right? We did remember that meditation
Yeah.
together, and I would say deeper connection was made there. Then I came to Utah to visit her for Halloween, go to your family's, go do a Halloween thing, and then when it was your birthday,
Oh,
you came to California.
yeah.
So her birthday's around Thanksgiving. My
The
family and I was in California visiting my sister for
yeah.
Thanksgiving.
My birthday prior to that, the year before, was the worst birthday I've ever had in my whole entire life. That's the time when I was like not wanting to be alive. And so when you had asked me to go to California with you, I was like, yeah, yes, like the beach for my birthday. Yeah, why not? I'll treat myself. We're hanging out, we're having fun. 100%. And then you told me your family was there. I'm like, "Oh, like is that okay? Like is that too
But
soon
I had
or
met your family in
you
Halloween.
met my brother. Did you meet all of them?
I don't think I met all of them,
No, I
but
think you just met the ones I was living with.
I
Yeah.
met your brother,
And my sister-in-law.
sister-in-law, and I stayed actually because you were living there, so I
Yeah.
stayed at their house for a couple of days when I came to Utah. But that's all I had met at your. But I was like, okay, you know, I liked Anthony. I still like Anthony. I like Miranda. So I was like, I like their family, and I wonder if she would want to meet my family. It was Thanksgiving. It was her birthday. I know she loves the beach, so I invited her out. And you come out. We go to California. We had a great time. And I think that's when we said we were boyfriend and girlfriend, starting officially.
Yeah, because I think you asked, you're like, one of us asked, or like other
You
people.
had asked me if I was dating other people. But
Oh,
we had
yeah.
had this conversation already, like through text messages. Hey, are you seeing anyone
Yeah.
else? And both of
And
us had said
the
no.
reason
But
why I think I ultimately asked is because, again, I didn't really know, like, you don't really know where you are standing, especially like when you're first dating and it's long distance.
mhm.
And so I was like, he could be seeing who knows other people or having a whole entire other relationship, and I wouldn't know unless I ask. And so I was like, okay, well, where do you see us? Are you dating other people? Because at that time as well, people were asking, like, there were other guys asking me on dates, and I was like, kind of iffy about it because I was like, well, I don't like we had progressed so much. I was like, I don't even know what we are. So that's when I asked, and you're like, no, I'm not dating any other people, and I was like, great.
Yeah. And California was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
We again, it's a playful atmosphere. We're going up and down the beaches. We love the beach. That's our it's our safe space. It's our natural environment for both of us.
Went to a comedy show.
Went to a comedy show. That was a good one too.
Mm-hmm.
Had a good time in Cali, right?
Yeah.
And this is still during COVID time, 2022. So it was Cali wasn't fully back in stock, but it was a great time, right? And so, and around that time, she actually had decided that she was going to move to Arizona. So I think it was mid December is when I flew out to. Oh no, it was after New Year's, right?
Yeah,
Except
it was
it was
literally
January.
January 1st is when I
January 1st,
moved.
I flew out to Utah to help her and her dog, Emerson, who's now our dog. And Emerson loves me more than her, which is, a story for another day.
Oh
But
my
I
gosh,
saved this.
whatever,
I
man.
saved this dog.
What you did.
Yeah.
You did.
This dog was only getting fed dry kibble at
But you also
3
saved her
a.m.
from a German
3
shepherd.
a.m. We'll talk about it later. This dog needed meat, and she'd never
Whatever.
been on walks, so I started taking her on
She was
walks.
on going on walks. Anyways,
So I fly to Utah, and I think that was when I met your family,
mm-hmm.
because they were like, "Who's this guy who's coming out to fly
And
or
I was
driving
the
back?"
thing is, I also we didn't move in together.
No, you weren't. She wasn't going to Arizona. You had your own place in Arizona.
I
I was
had
talking about
roommates, and I was on
that
doing my own
trip
thing.
was really fun for me too, though, because like it was our first road trip together, and I also got to meet your family for the first time, like all of them, and just kind of introduce myself and say, "Hey, I'm the person about to drive your daughter to a new state," and I want to give those details too because Brielle went through a very traumatic thing in her life with her divorce, and her family went through this with her, right? Because they were there to pick her up when she was going through a hard
Yeah,
time.
I remember clearly like my dad sitting there crying with me because I was in so much pain, and I didn't know there was nothing really we could do.
Yeah, and I knew that because again I had coached you,
Mm-hmm.
but I knew it more when I started to date her to realize obviously how much pain her family had endured watching their daughter and their sisters and their siblings suffer, right?
Yeah,
So I wanted to meet them,
and that was
and
also kind of a test too, because my past relationship, they didn't have a good relationship with him. And so I made it very clear, like, the next person I'm going to be with, they will like my family and my family will like them and they'll have a good
I mean, you made it
relationship.
clear to yourself.
To myself,
She
yes.
never said this to me.
But it was a test for me. I'm like, I got to see you with them,
Yeah.
and see how they feel about you as well. And
that was something I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Like, she never asked me to do it. She never told me to do it. But it was something I wanted to do because I had just a kind of a intuition that they needed to know who I was and who this guy was to fly out and drive their daughter down to a new state, right? Because her leaving Utah, where all of her family was, very close to tribe, it was like she's the first one really to go out of state, I would say, and not be near the family. And I just knew that they needed to meet us. So we meet, it's good. Do our drive down to Arizona. She moves into her new house. I'm living in my own place. And the dating blossoms, right? We really do start dating. I think I was the one who said, I love you almost like 2 weeks into you
yeah,
moving to
you
Arizona.
did. I was shocked. I was like, really?
Yeah. I said it first, guys. I think it was, man, what was it? Probably like 4 months after you moved down to Arizona is when we moved into that place in Monaco together, though.
4 months?
4 months after you moved to, because remember you broke your lease with that person?
No, because I don't think it was 4 months. I was thinking it's at least 6.
Nope. It was
Because we went to Europe.
Was it after Europe? No, yeah.
It was after Europe.
No, we were in Monaco before Europe.
No, we weren't, because we had a big storage unit where I left my passport with all of our stuff.
Oh, yeah. All right.
That's another story for another time.
No. This is part of our story.
No, babe. We've gone too long.
We're talking about our story.
I know, but that's like a whole other lesson in and of itself.
No, we have to tell the story because this really does make a pivot. This is truly one of those moments in our relationship. Truly. So
we were tested a bunch.
Let me just rewrite the story a little bit for you guys. We're dating. I was in a different home. She was in a different place. And you're right, summer 2023. My cousin was getting married in southern France. And I asked her if she wants to come with me, obviously, as my date.
Yeah.
And also, she told me her favorite place that she wanted to go was Scotland. So I was like, let's go to Scotland for a couple weeks prior, and we'll just make a Europe trip out of it. Right? So she's right.
I was like, are you my dream man? What?
So I'm moving out of my place. She's moving out of her place. What I was thinking was that
my lease was up in 2 months, and I broke it or like a month early.
Yeah, so what I was thinking is that you kind of like just moved in. She had moved into my place. Her dog was living at my place.
Yeah, because you had a backyard, and
I take her on walks.
Yeah, my roommates had a rescue who was like abusive.
The dog was aggressive towards Emerson. Yeah. So yeah, she was living with me. We're dating. But yeah, so going to the trip, we pack up all of our things. We put them in a storage unit, U-Haul in Arizona. And we drive to Utah to stay at her family's.
12 hours, was it?
Yeah, 12 hours to stay at her family's house. And then we're going to fly from Utah to Seattle and go from Seattle to Dublin, Ireland. And then from Ireland, we're going to Scotland, right? So that was our international leg trip.
It's like a dream trip.
Right?
Yeah.
So the night, like our flight is the next morning at 8:30 or 9:30 in the morning. And that night, it's like 9:30 at night. She gets out of the shower, just completely frantic look on her face.
So for the record, I was in the shower and everything was going on, tons of stuff. And so that was like my moment of just relax. I can finally relax. And then my mind was like, oh, forgot something.
So and there's actually a post about this I have. So if you guys go to my social media, I have a reel that went viral. It's got like 20, 30 million views or something like that, me telling the story on social media, but we're going to tell it to you again now. She gets out of the shower and she goes, I forgot my passport. I left it in the storage unit in Arizona.
I knew exactly. That's one thing about me. If I put something somewhere, 95% of the time, I will remember where I put it.
You are pretty good at that. I'm not pretty good at that.
But if you move it, It could be anywhere.
But if I don't know where I put things
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah, you have a hard time with that. But I knew exactly where it was.
Yeah. So she gets out of the shower and we're going international, guys, not a domestic flight. You need your passport. And she tells me she left it. And I just feel this wave of anger.
You just go like this. Are you joking?
Yeah. I
Are
was
you
like, you
joking?
gotta be joking right now. I can laugh at it now, but in the moment, there was definitely anger. And again, for everyone who knows me, I do training on emotional state, but I'm still a human being. I still can get triggered.
And I was over there like, he's going to break up with me. Who wouldn't? Who would not break up with me right now?
But she's also taking that belief
But
from
I'm also
past
like, I'm at my
projections.
parents' house. Great time to break up with me. I won't leave.
Yeah. So I honestly, guys, the thought of breaking up with her never crossed my mind. The only thing that was on my mind at the moment was how to solve it. But the first thing was to solve was my anger, right? Because I was furious. I didn't snap at you.
No.
I
And
did
I, and
not
I am
yell.
very grateful for that because in the past I've had that like being yelled at, and that's not like I shut down.
Yeah.
Where I can honestly say like you've never actually yelled at me.
I've raised my voice a few times, but I don't think I've ever yelled at you.
No.
And in that moment, I knew that yelling at you, complaining, going into anything of blame was not going to solve the moment and solve the outcome that I wanted. Because the outcome I wanted, and this is something we'll talk about in the podcast too with mindset, is what's the outcome you want? The outcome in the moment I wanted was I still want to go to Europe with my girlfriend. That's the only thing in my mind that I was like, my anger is not going to help me finding this passport for her and getting her to Europe with me. So what can we do? And we started to talk about it. Like, obviously, we're not going to drive because that's a 12-hour drive. It's like we have to get a flight. So I get online and we're looking for flights for times. And I was like, okay, she's got to get to Arizona. And then is she going to come back to Utah? Is there a flight in time to get you back to Utah so she can be on the flight with me from Utah to Seattle? Because we have that connection in Seattle, from Seattle over to Ireland.
But our storage unit didn't open until the morning.
Yeah, our storage unit didn't open right away, right? So actually the gate to get in there. And so she's got to time that up too. So it was an early flight for you the next morning, right?
No, that night I left.
Oh yeah, that night. Yeah,
I left that night, and my beautiful, amazing friend.
yeah. So I found a flight. I just want to say real quick,
Yeah.
right before I found the flight, because after we had to figure out the connections, like she's got to fly to Arizona, and then there's no flight back from Arizona to Utah before our flight out from Utah the next morning to Seattle, right? So again, we have a flight originally scheduled from Utah to Seattle, and there's no flight the next day for her to get back from Arizona to Utah in time. So now I'm like, okay, I can get her to Arizona, but now I have to get her to Seattle before our flight from Seattle has to leave. And so I find this combination of flights, and it was like $1,200, $1,300, right? And I
One
did
mistake.
I did have a moment, yeah, $1,200 mistake. I did have a moment of lack and scarcity in that moment because I was like, this isn't my fault, right? And we do this before at times. So I was like, this isn't my fault. I didn't make the mistake. Should I have to pay the $1,200? Now, some people could be like, you were going to Europe and you didn't ask your girlfriend at the time if she had her passport. I agree. I could have asked, right? But in the moment, I was having a moment of lack and scarcity where I was like, hey, I shouldn't have to pay. But what I will offer is we're all going to be faced with decision. And in that moment, I was just unconsciously, whether it was from God, right? And I do believe in a God, or was it just my intuition? It was like, do you love this woman? Michael, do you love this woman? Because if you love her, it's not even really a choice. You will buy this ticket and you will make sure she comes with you to Europe. And so I wanted to do the energy exchange of that money with that intention of knowing that. So I answered the question, yes, I did. And so when I clicked buy, I actually felt the release of peace right there. Now there was worry of like, are we going to time this up right?
Because really, it was after that was like literally up to me
Yeah.
to be able to get to everything
She had to
on
get
a
to
specific
Arizona.
time.
Your friend had to pick you up.
Yeah, thank you, Emily and Brady. Like, they let me stay with them, and then they took me to the
To the storage unit.
to the storage unit, and then took me to the airport.
Yep.
And when we got to the airport, it was like insanely busy. And I was like, oh, like we were pressed with time, people. Like I was like, can anybody let me go for
Yeah.
like before them?
Because if she misses the Arizona flight,
Then it's done.
then she's not getting to
Yeah.
Seattle and she's not making it to
Yeah.
the leg over.
Made it on time, like just in time to the flight to Seattle. And I just remember getting to Seattle. I got there a little bit earlier than you did.
Yeah, her flight actually landed before mine.
Yeah. And I was like, we were texting, he's like, where are you? This is where I'm at. And I see him. And I was just like, I walked up, I'm like, hi, like, love ya.
She has the passport. This is in Seattle when we see each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we get to Seattle, and this is another point of it too, where
Oh, they almost didn't let me on the flight.
because she had missed, because it's an international flight, right? It's technically an international flight from Utah to Seattle and then to an international country, Ireland, where we were going before we went to Scotland. She missed that first leg. And
So
when you
technically, it didn't register that I was even there.
didn't register she was there, right? So technically, she's not supposed to be on that Seattle flight to go to Ireland, right? So we get to the gate of Seattle checking in, and they're like, "Hey, you missed your flight. We don't have you. We've already sold your ticket, right? Or we've given it away." And I was like, "What?"
He was. That's when you showed anger.
Yeah,
I would say.
I think at that point I was like, "This is not the point where we get cut off. Like she's here. We got the passport. Like we're good." And I was like, "Well, clearly she is here in physical person. You can see that. Let me tell you what happened." And I tell her briefly. I was like,
But they weren't really listening. I don't think they cared.
"One person did.
After I reframed her.
Well, one person did care enough because she went and got the manager.
Yes.
Yeah, and then you spoke to the manager, and the manager was like, let's make an exception. We'll get her on the flight." So we ended up going on the flight, made it to Scotland. We had a beautiful time in Scotland. That was a beautiful summer. That was really so
Oh
much
my
fun.
gosh. I miss Scotland so much.
Yeah, Scotland's a great
It
time if you
was
guys have a chance to go.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And everyone's so nice there.
And then I think in Europe, my family really got to know her better too because we were traveling. After we did our private trip, a solo trip in Scotland, we made him in France, my family, and my family really just kind of started to fall in love with Brielle there. And that was a great time. So
We need to do more. We need to do another.
we have an 18-month-old boy. It's
But
kind of hard to go
people
international.
bring their children all the time. I just saw an influencer and her
All right.
friend.
How about this? We have
They've-
2 dogs.
Yeah, that's the tricky
The dogs
part.
are actually more challenging when you're traveling.
It really
It's like,
is.
I could
Because I
ask my
hate
parents.
leaving.
Well, it's like
Yeah.
I could ask my parents, but it's also like, hey, you want to take our dogs for like a month? All right. So I think I don't know where we're at with time with this, but to fast forward a little bit, obviously we continue to date. After that, we move together into an apartment. We move in together to a house that I bought in Arizona that,
Well,
Actually-
I got pregnant first.
oh yeah, you did get pregnant before we moved into the house in Arizona.
Yeah.
Yep, we did. So we got pregnant out of wedlock.
It
And
was
honestly,
with
I
love.
wouldn't change it any other way because having Roman at our wedding was
Yeah, it was perfect.
it was perfect, right? So that's a blessing from God that it happened the way it did.
I also wanted to be a mom, and like I saw marriage so differently that it was like, okay, well, I didn't have a great experience with it in the first place, so I was like, okay to wait
Yeah.
a little bit longer.
Okay. I'll put something into the story, and I don't know where we were at the time, but let's just
Probably
keep going. So
maybe we'll cut this into 2.
I knew I wanted to marry her before she got pregnant. Like I knew I wanted to marry Brielle. I just, for some reason in my heart, I was like, I think she still needs to heal a little bit and just be with me as a partner and not have the label of marriage around it because she was still, I think, healing. While she had spiritually healed a little bit, there's still a process for her to heal and just be with someone and feel like there's a connection, feel like there's trust, feel like there's
Yeah.
a partner that she could be with. And I
I
had that
also,
feeling in my mind.
I don't
But
know if you know this though. Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
I got to work on that. But now that I have done it,
Yes.
I had friends that were like thinking about marriage, getting engaged or whatever, and we would have conversations, and I'm just like, about it. Like I was like, if I get married again, cool. If I don't, cool. Like I wasn't. That's where I was at the time because I wasn't like I said, the association to marriage was so bad that I was like, I didn't know anything different, you
Yeah,
know?
and I would also say from my perspective at that time, I think I have a different perspective on it now. I didn't see marriage as something that was you had to do, right? Like if you loved the person, if you wanted to create a family with them, do it, right? Marriage, at the end of the day, it's a sacred vow, it's a commitment, it's a covenant, right? And it's also, unfortunately, in our country, it's very commercialized, right? It's just this legal contract that you have to abide by. And I think that's why there's a lot of resentment, a lot of divorces, because people put it as something where it's almost a pressure to hold up to. Where Brielle and I, at least at the time, we were like, we love each other. And we talked about kids and we want to start a family together. So I think God presented us actually with what we wanted, a child, right? We got and
And what
she
we
got pregnant.
needed,
Yeah.
honestly. I think that was a huge thing for me as well, as like, as challenging as it can be as a parent,
Yeah.
especially in the beginning when it's your first child. It's like Roman is exactly what I needed at that time, and I think you can say the same thing.
Yeah. It still is.
Yeah, exactly. Every day.
And so she got pregnant in 2023.
3.
I did propose, excuse
Wait,
me.
2023 or beginning of
Um,
2024?
yeah, it was 2024. So it was early 2024 when it was like February. Yep,
Yeah.
February of 2024. And then I did propose that summer of 2024 to her because after like 5 or 6 months of her getting pregnant, and I do think that, as she said, her being pregnant, her being a mother and carrying, nurturing for life, I saw a spiritual healing, her being pregnant. So I was like, I think she's ready to be, to have me, well, for me to propose basically. So we did get engaged that summer. And then November of 2024 is when Roman came into the world, and we did our at-home birth, which we won't go too deep into all the details here. We'll have our own podcast
Maybe
for
we'll
that.
talk another time about that, because I think that in and of itself is controversial.
Uh,
And like, I've heard people, I mean, you were on a podcast too about, and she was saying how she gets triggered, when she hears about at home births, because she had it. Anyways, regardless, I've had people, even family members, be more controversial towards it, but I think we had such a great,
Listen,
amazing
I get it. The
experience.
intention is safety. People care and they think that it's a risky move to do it at home birth. So I understand the intention behind people's hesitation for it. Now, having said that, a lot of people do it, right? And guys, we obviously, as human beings, civilization, have been doing it. We've been doing it longer, not in hospitals, than we have in hospitals. How about we just put it that way, right? Human beings have been given birth longer and more times successfully, not in hospitals, than we have in hospitals. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here, right? So, but that's a different story for your time. So, we're just talking about our story. November 2024, we become parents, right? And holy crap. I mean, I got to say just a little bit. The birth of our son, like, was
It
such
was
a,
46 hours long. Let's just say that.
it was a challenging moment experience for her. It was challenging for me too. And also, when Roman came into this world, it was truly like a spiritual being came into this world. It was. And we were so blessed that it was in our home in Arizona. It was the way we wanted. We were fortunate. We were blessed because I have friends and I know people too who wanted that at home birth experience. And for whatever reason, they had to go to the hospital and do it there. And
I think
the ending
regardless,
goal is to get the baby out safe and
yeah,
mom alive. So
exactly.
I'm all about that too.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that of our decision making with another episode. But then, move forward. We're living in Arizona, and Brielle and I just start to realize that Arizona is not our ending spot we want to live at. We're not a big fan of the dry heat. It was a challenging decision because our lives were there at the time. Our good friends were there. My work was still there at the time, and so moving was like, man, this is. And I just bought the house, and we'd spent like almost $100,000 renovating that house,
Yeah. It would, yeah.
which I'm trying to sell now. So if anyone wants to buy a house from me in Arizona,
It's really nice,
it's a
and there
beautiful
may be a
house.
back road, but it's really not that
It's
bad.
next to a road
It's
that is
actually not bad at
a
all.
little noisy, but we're gonna call it easy access to the highway. All right,
But there's like a cute little. There's just so much great
and it's
things
a
about it.
massive backyard
Can
with
barely
it's
hear.
a massive backyard with a huge pool. So anyway, side note, I'm not gonna sell my house in the
Any takers?
So what is it? It's like April of 2025, right? We pack up and we drive to Utah now, and we go spend some time with your family in Utah before we make our adventure out here to New England and live with my parents in Newburyport, Massachusetts. And another reason we wanted to come out here is because we wanted to have our wedding out here, right? I had more elderly grandparents at the time, more elderly people just in general from my side of the family than your side of the family
Mm-hmm.
that I wanted to come to the wedding. And so we decided to have it out here. And we wanted by the water, which we did have, sort of.
Yeah.
We had the rehearsal dinner.
Yeah. Yeah. It worked out great, and
If you were at a
everybody's,
wedding, you know,
yeah, we
okay?
know.
Friends, family, if you were at a wedding, you know you had a good time, right?
Yeah.
That wedding rock. I spent way too much, right? I'm still in credit card debt. I'm gonna be real on this show with you guys. I'm a lot of credit card debt for how much I spent on that wedding, but it was truly one of the best investments, and I say the word specifically investments of my life, because when I think about that day, how gorgeous Brielle looked, how amazing the setting was. Roman in his little tuxedo.
Obviously, not everything goes as planned, but for this day, I would say like 90% of the stuff.
I'd say 99. Like what
99% of the
didn't
stuff.
go as planned?
A few things.
Like what?
Just a few things.
Okay. Well, I thought everything went as planned and better. And we
It
spent
was
like
so good.
so we bought a band, not bought a band. We
We bought
spent 15 grand on a band and they were so good. They were so freaking good. Like I mean, every song that you can think of they did a cover of, but they were so good.
my family, they were like, we were like at a rock concert.
Yeah. Her family, again, Mormon background.
And my niece or my nephews were pretty much famous because
Yeah.
the band let them speak in the microphones.
Oh, your nieces and nephews were like 8.
Yeah.
And my family, my friends, different atmospheres that we all grew up in environment, but everyone, that's what we wanted. We wanted to throw a celebration and say thank you to our friends and our family who had contributed so much to our lives. And we were blessed to be in the position that we were parents to Roman. We knew each other. And so we were like, we're going all out. We love to dance. We love to party. We love to celebrate our friends and family. So we're going all out for this wedding. And it was freaking awesome. And so again, friends and family, if you were there, you know,
It
right?
was worth every penny.
It was worth every penny that I'm still working on paying back, and it will.
Someone buy our house.
Someone buy my house though. If you can buy a house in Arizona, that would really help with the monthly expenses
Yeah.
that of the holding cost. So yeah, that's 2025. To kind of wrap up our story, speed this up a little bit, and we thought that actually we were going to be moving out of New England area that year, 2025, but we decided to do one winter because we were like, all right, we're going to do one winter here in New England.
Mistake.
We'll do it now, right? Because Brielle was like, I don't know if I would like the winter here. I knew the winters aren't great here.
Of course, it was the worst winter this year.
I didn't know it was going to be the worst winter in 13 years. Literally in 13 years. There was days that were so cold that you were told not to go outside
I
for a
gained
while.
so much weight because I was hibernating. I'm not joking.
It's a problem in New England. This is one of the reasons I actually left New England because I don't think it's healthy to live in that. Bless you.
Sorry.
I don't think it's healthy to live in that kind of cold environment where you can't go outside and see the sun for that long. And I was right because we both got pretty sick that winter, and our son even got sick a bunch of times.
Oh, yeah. We're not the winter people.
Yeah.
We're beach people.
We're going to skip past the time where we actually had to fly to Utah and Arizona for my shoulder surgery, and then all got sick at
Oh,
Christmas.
yeah. That's another story. We got a lot of stories here, guys.
That was the worst 2 weeks of my life. I had shoulder surgery, and then
The only
we all
good
got
part
sick.
about it was I got to see my family, and I really miss them.
Yeah.
So
We're staying around here in New England. We lived in New Hampshire for a few months. Again, that was way too cold. The environment up there just wasn't for us. We're back with my parents in Newburyport, Massachusetts, as I said in the first episode.
temporarily because we're just
Yeah, we're in
getting our
between
ducks in the
transition.
row for
My parents are helping us out. They know I'm in a financial situation where I paid a lot of money for the wedding. A couple other investments I did just didn't go the way. You know, there's our risk in investments, right? And they didn't go my way. And then I have a real estate property that we used to live in. that we had a tenant abandoned the property, damaged the property on the way out. And so my parents are letting us stay here. And then while we get our feet back underneath us, but we do plan to move to Florida at the end of this year. It's like 90% chance for Florida. I don't know what
I'm
else would
trying
be.
to convince my whole entire family to do the same. I know that they want to go. If you're watching this, I know you want to come.
You're going to come with us, or you're going to come close to Florida because we love you. We want to be near you. We want you to see us, right? So I think we skipped past obviously some other moments in our story, which we will probably
They'll
bring
come
up,
up.
like the birth of our son. I do want to spend an episode talking about our choice behind a home birth and how I do believe that there are some potential cautions that you have to be aware of for home birth, but there are some massively positive things that I think came out of our decision from a home birth that Roman is reflecting now. And I do believe it has something to do with him being in a natural environment. That's just my belief, of course.
I'm
Any,
sniffly because Roman got me sick.
anything else, babe, that we should share about our
No, I
story?
think the main thing is I think we got to decide on our third episode and
That's the main
maybe
thing.
because we have talked way too long. I already can know.
Nah,
that.
what were we at, like an hour?
It seems like it's 2 hours.
It's our story. I mean, how do you tell your story so quickly?
Some people's are like, we met and we got married.
All right, well,
And that's it.
this is the Mahoneys, and the Mahoney
Yeah.
story is that. There's going to be more to our story, but that's our
Well,
story in a
this
nutshell.
isn't just like a 3-episode podcast. Obviously, we're planning on going for a while with this thing. So we've got a lot of other stories, a lot of things to talk about. We don't all have to say it in one episode.
Yeah. I was trying to give our story. We were giving our story and
Yeah.
how we met
We did it.
and up till now. So
we did it. Here we are.
do we do the whole
Yeah.
like and subscribe thing? Yeah, I don't like
I think
that.
it's more like if you guys have more questions about details, like I'm not afraid to share details, but I can't share them all because there's just so much.
I can share them all. I don't care.
No, I mean
I'll
like
share
some I
hers too.
forget.
I'll share hers too.
So it's more like if you guys have details about or questions about more details about how we met or
Oh yeah, if you're friends and family and you think we're leaving things out, why don't you go ahead and be like, hey, you guys should talk about that. I think that'd be cool. All right. If you're friends and family and you think we're leaving things out, call us out because that will actually make this podcast cooler by us because we have our own subjective experience of how it happened, and you guys have your own experience of how it happened. So it'd be cool for you to chime in.
Yeah. That'll come later. So anyways, if you guys enjoyed this, we are so grateful if you've even listened to this far or had to,
I feel like Liliana's still listening.
Hi, Liliana.
Liliana, I know you're still listening, so I'm gonna say hi to you.
Hi.
And I can't wait
You're
to
our
meet.
favorite.
I can't wait to meet your baby, Liliana.
Anyways, that's okay. We got to wrap this up. Thank you guys for listening or watching wherever you're doing that on. And we will see you guys next time.
Yeah, that's how we'll know that you like us if you keep coming back
Yeah, give us a 5-star review.
on one of the platforms.
Yeah.
All right.
Or
Bye-bye.
subscribe.
I'm looking for a honey sponsor. Side note, if
We
you
love honey. All honeys.
do own a honey company, I want to be a brand ambassador.
All right, we'll reach out. Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
My honey.